Good afternoon. Welcome back to this special edition of Lest We Forget Historical, brought to you by Passionate World Talk Radio Network, a wholly owned subsidiary of Global Media Network, LLC, Educate, Enlighten, and Entertain. And today we're holding a special memorial tribute to Jimmy Carter, who recently passed after reaching and achieving his 100th birthday. So, how do you describe a Southern gentleman who ran for president, was elected for one time, and accomplished so much in his lifetime? Jimmy Carter is that person. Despite the jokes about his brother Billy and his fondness for beer, Jimmy Carter was no joke. He was no embarrassment in the political arena, nor was he the butt of any jokes while he was in office. You might be asking what Jimmy Carter's purpose in life was. What was he trying to accomplish as president? Why is it so important that we remember Jimmy Carter not just for what he was, but for who he was? Did Jimmy Carter make a difference? Did he walk the walk and talk the talk? Did he leave a political and noticeable ripple that still resonates today in the 21st century? And if so, how? It's not enough to simply honor a man and say he did this or that. We must take a closer look of how whatever he did made it a better world for all Americans. To truly remember Jimmy Carter, we must take a closer look at some of his achievements and see how well they have stood the test of time. As U.S. citizens, we can build upon the foundations that Jimmy Carter laid down. So, what were some of Jimmy Carter's achievements during his presidency and how they remain relevant today in the 21st century? Number one, Camp David Accords, 1978, 20th century. This peace agreement between Egypt and Israel was a significant diplomatic achievement, helping to stabilize the Middle East. 21st century, the Accords laid the groundwork for ongoing peace efforts in that region and are still referenced in contemporary diplomatic discussions. Number two, creation of the Department of Energy in 1977. In the 20th century, he established to address the energy crisis. It focused on reducing dependence on foreign oil and promoting energy conservation. 21st century, the department continues to play a crucial role in addressing climate change and promoting renewable energy sources. Number three, creation of the Department of Education in 1979, 20th century, aimed to improve education standards and ensure equal access to education for all Americans. 21st century, the department remains vital in shaping educational policies and addressing issues like student debt and educational inequality. Number four, human rights advocacy. 20th century, Carter emphasized human rights in foreign policy, which was a departure from previous administrations. 21st century, his focus on human rights continues to influence U.S. foreign policy and global rights initiatives. Number five, environmental initiatives. 20th century, Carter promoted environmental conservation and renewable energy, including installing solar panels on the White House. 21st century. His early advocacy for renewable energy is seen as a precursor to current efforts to combat climate change. Number 6, Habitat for Humanity, 20th century. After his presidency, Carter became heavily involved in Habitat for Humanity, helping to build homes for those in need. 21st century. His work with Habitat for Humanity has inspired countless volunteers and continues to address housing issues worldwide. These achievements of Jimmy Carter is a reminder of what a president should strive for while in office, whether for 4 or 8 years. The length of time doesn't determine the amount of work accomplished for the common good, but years can add brilliance to an otherwise routine presidency. Jimmy Carter achieved greatness within a standard 4 year term as President of the United States. To paraphrase another great president who governed in a limited time frame, remember what John F. Kennedy once said to all of Americans: ask not what your country can do for you, ask what you can do for your country. Jimmy Carter embodied that sentiment. Thank you very much for joining us in this tribute to former President Jimmy Carter. And remember, he did that in 4 years. Just imagine what you too can do in your lifetime. Thank you.